Clint Eastwood. I fucked them. Oh!
Can I ask you guys a question?
Fire away.
Sure.
What are your names, Neil and Bob, or is that like what you do? Oh!
Oh!
Hello, hello, all you snappaheads out there, and welcome to Sleazebag Cinema. My name is Mike Jamison, and with me tonight, from deep, dark, in his basement, is my co-host, Andrew Gross. Andrew, how the hell are you?
Michael, I am rolling.
It's always good to hear. And with us tonight, we have a special guest. It only took us 27 times to get our schedules aligned so we could do this podcast. And any second now, Andrew's iPad might crash out, so who knows what's going to happen. But our special guest tonight is from the great state of New York that just crushed my heart and stepped on it 17 times. Brad Reiter, otherwise known as Big Beard Booty Daddy. Brad, how in the hell are you?
I'm doing pretty darn good.
Good, good.
Can't complain. I mean, I can complain, but, who's going to listen, really?
Nah, I'll listen to you, because I'll probably complain to you, and then Andrew will complain to us, and we can all complain because we are old, crusty curmudgeons. But the one thing that gives us happiness is watching movies from 20 to 30 to 40 years ago that made us laugh. And tonight, the movie that we are covering is the infamous The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, starring Andrew Dice Clay. Brad, why did you want to come on and talk to us about this movie?
I wanted to come on for this one in particular just because it's such a big part of my childhood, which is weird to say for a movie starring Andrew Dice Clay, using four-letter words like they're going out of style. But my brother was a huge fan of Dice. My dad gave him a cassette when we were younger, and he wore that thing out. And I think we saw this on HBO or something, and it was just one of those movies that late at night it would be on, and my brother recorded it, and we just watched it together. And so I just find it incredibly hilarious. It's off the wall, it's action packed, it's just a fun movie that at times you just sit there and you're like, why am I watching this? And then 2 minutes later you're like, okay, that's why I'm watching it. Just so entertaining in the best and worst ways.
Well, Brad, you and I have talked before. You were on Pop Culture Basement, and I forget, your brother is older or younger than you?
Yeah, he's a little over 2 years older than I am.
Okay, so he's older, and you said your dad gave you a copy of one of Dice's cassettes, because we have to remember, in late 80s, this movie came out in 1990, came out July 11th, 1990, but this was the height of Dice mania, basically. This was the height of his popularity, the height of his power. Like I said, this is his only this is his only starring role. So, was your dad? No, it's the only movie he leads, the major motion picture.
Can I chime in here?
Well, I just want to know, Brad, did your dad?
I guess not.
Hold on. I'm being nice to the guest, Andrew. You're here all the time. I can be rude
I had a
to
question
you.
for the guest, so. Fine.
Well, the question I had is, you said your dad gave it to did
my brother?
Did he have no qualms giving you? How old were you when he gave you the Dice cassette?
He gave it to my brother. He was probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Okay, because I know if I ask Andrew, I know Andrew always says that his family was not as liberal, let's say, as my family with watching the kind of stuff that my parents allowed me to watch at a young age. So that interests me. So Andrew, go ahead, ask our guest a question.
B-Rad.
Yes.
What was the cassette of? To your recollection?
It was one of his stand-up shows. So it had like the stuff like his nursery rhymes on it.
Okay,
and
very
such.
raunchy, raunchy,
yes.
very Dice.
Yeah. My mom was not happy about it.
And I got another question because we just met on this podcast today.
Yes.
Where were you living at the time? I'm kind of going somewhere with this. So,
we're from Queens, New York.
Okay, so
Boo.
Brad, correct me if I'm wrong. Then, like, I mean, he's somewhat from. I'm not shouldn't say somewhat. Excuse me. My point is, I'm trying to spit out here is for someone living in one of the boroughs of New York, if I'm saying that right, he had to be like incredible. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't imagine if you're a kid growing up in, say, Los Angeles. Okay, Dice, blah blah blah. But I mean, he's like from the hood, from your neighborhood, somewhat, right? He's a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker. Am I right or wrong? He was like piping hot popular, especially in your area, right? Is that fair to say? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So definitely this movie would resonate. So this movie really was like hitting home for you. I mean, this is, someone from around the way. We get his mook persona probably better than someone again from LA or some shithead like me from Philadelphia area, because that's not from what. So this must have meant a lot to you, I would think. Tell me I'm right or wrong, but this must have been awesome to see this.
Yeah, I mean, I was, still young at the time, so looking back at it now, I can definitely see that. But yeah, I do remember like the Dicemania and how popular he was, getting having the comedy specials on TV, getting kicked off of MTV and all that, and but he was so popular at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, when I say height of his powers, that's what I mean. He set a record. He's one of only a few comedians who sold out and headlined Madison Square Garden at that time. So this was like the prime time of pay-per-view. I can remember my parents setting aside time to make sure that they bought his pay-per-views to watch his comedy specials.
Yeah, so. I mean, I think you two would probably understand. I'm gonna guess you certainly do, Mike. But when we were kids, Bruce is coming to play 3 nights in Philly. Imagine that. And this is what we remember when Bruce Springsteen would play a concert in Philly, and then like 3 nights would sell out in like 45 seconds, so he would have a 4th or 5th night. And what I'm trying to go to is like I remember reading that Dice sold out MSG, and they end up, I think, adding up to 3, maybe 4 nights, and they all sold out like super hot quick because he was just so piping hot, as I would say. So he almost was like a rock star. So this movie kind of like touches on that. I don't know if it's intentional to, but that's what I remember. That was just. I just remember when I were kids, Mike. You probably remember, Mike, on MMR and YSP, like tickets would go on sale for somebody, Springsteen, U2, The Who, what have you. And they would end up playing 3, 4, 5 nights because they were so the concerts are so popular. And I think that's how Dice did with MSG at the time, was like unprecedented.
Yeah, and you're bringing up a good point. Because he was so hot, that's why 20th Century Fox wanted him for this movie. And you would think at the time that summer movie starring Andrew Dice Clay, you're going to have a hit.
It was a summer release, Mike? Is that what you just said?
Summer, July 11th, 1990.
Okay.
And they actually pushed it back, which Dice got pissed about because he said later that he thinks it was pushed back into a less appealing spot. I don't know what it went up against that opening weekend, but its budget was $20 million. It only made $21.4 million. So it bombed out. It was, and that is why, yes, he's been in movies since then, but he's never headlined a major motion picture since The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Which you seem to be surprised about, Andrew.
Well, I thought he did a good job. I see he had talent. I thought he could have made more movies. Maybe not as Ford Fairlane, and maybe he just would not, under any circumstances, do anything but his, Mama Luke shtick persona. Like, I thought he had talent. I thought he did well in the movie. I think, I could have seen him making other stuff if he would have expanded a little bit. I think his persona, is going to go so far. and unfortunately this tanked, and that probably didn't allow him to do so. But I was very impressed how he did in the movie. Again, kind of doing himself, but still,
Yeah, I mean the movie is interesting because it has a really good cast around him. You
Sure.
have Ed O'Neill, you have Robert Englund, you have people in place that are
I forgot about
talented, and
that one.
and like you said, I mean he was good in it. The supporting cast was good in it. It just didn't hit.
Yeah,
Just
it's a lot
Which is
like
crazy.
I think it's a
yeah,
lot like Easy Money that we talked about on the last episode with Rodney, where he's doing movies and they have to construct a character around his stand-up persona,
yeah.
and that's what they're kind of doing with this movie
Which
because the
is why,
back
as hot as he was, why didn't it blow up? That's
well the
just such
back
a head scratcher to
it
me.
it's got an interesting backstory. It's based on there were Ford Fairlane stories published in the late 70s, early 80s in the LA Weekly and the New York Rocker. They were punk rock fanzines and magazines by an
Ah,
author named Rex Weiner or Weiner. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he created the Ford Fairlane character as a punk rock and roll detective. So basically,
Hmm.
he was putting a spin on the hard-boiled detective type of story where his detective was in that punk rock world solving cases. So a little bit like what this movie is in that
sure.
you're putting him in the rock and roll world, but I am sure I've never read the original stories. I'm sure that this version of Ford Fairlane differs wildly from the version that was appearing in those stories originally. Because, like we said, a lot like Rodney and a lot of stand ups at the time, I think Dice, he's developed into a pretty good actor. But back then, for a first starring role, you're going to develop or
I thought he was great.
you're going to write the character to his strengths. And you could see he's basically playing himself.
Yeah,
He's doing his
his
bits
shtick.
in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
movie.
It makes me wonder why they tied it to this already created character storyline. And I don't know. I don't know. I certainly know anything. I had no idea there was some. What did you call it? A fanzine or what have you? If there was a comic strip or a graphic novel or a written novel of Ford Fairlane's adventures. It makes me wonder why they felt like they had to tie him to that. As it just making him a rock and roll detective? Why did it have to? Or maybe that was pure coincidence, and
Or maybe
there's no.
they might have bought the rights and were looking to finally do something with it. So when they saw this and they had Andrew Dice Clay, maybe I mean, Hollywood, they don't care. It doesn't have to be. I'm a huge fan of the Fletch movie and the Fletch books. And
Sure.
if you read the books, they differ. There's some parts of it that you'll recognize, but they differ wildly sometimes from the two movies Chevy Chase made. I mean, the second movie isn't even based on one of the novels. And even the John Hamm one that they just made, it's based on one of the novels, but it's still different. So maybe they own the rights and we're just looking to finally do something with the property. It's funny you
Sure.
mentioned comic strip or graphic novel because DC Comics actually, when the movie came out, published a prequel comic book series. I've never read it. I've never seen it out there, but I saw images.
Does it look like Dice?
It looks like Dice. It's
Okay.
stylized, but it looks like him.
Wonder if he got some shekels for doing that.
I don't know, but I mean, you guys were mentioning the cast. It does have a really good cast. It has
Yeah.
talent behind the camera and on camera because Rennie Harlan directed this,
Yeah.
and he made this, and then 2 weeks later started doing Die Hard 2.
Wow.
Rennie Harlan, famously this, Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, infamously Cutthroat Island, which basically bankrupted Carolco Studios and
Yeah.
killed pirate movies.
He also directed probably one of the top two worst Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Part Four. So I like to say that this is the best movie directed by Rennie Harlan. That is also featuring Robert Englund.
That explains that connection then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he had done this one right before. He had done this one like right after, because he had done a movie called Prison previously to Nightmare on Elm Street, which I haven't seen it, but it's supposed to be incredible, like really good horror movie. And then he went from that directly to Nightmare on Elm Street, and then from there, like there's a whole big thing about getting phone call from like producers after as soon as that movie came out, getting like phone calls from big producers to do like Die Hard and a whole bunch of other stuff. So
Yeah, he also did Long Kiss Goodnight. I mean,
yeah,
Rennie Harlan has a wacky career. Because you're going with this, which
kind of like us.
yeah. I mean, I said this is infamous. A cult has built up around Ford Fairlane, so it's a cult classic, I would say. He's done this, Die Hard 2, Long Kiss Goodnight, Cliffhangers, solid 90s action flicks, and then, as Brad, you just brought up, maybe the worst Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and then he goes and I think he was married to Gina Davis at the time when he made Cutthroat Island. It not only bankrupted the studio, I'm pretty sure it destroyed their marriage also.
yeah.
Poor Matthew Modine was caught in the crossfire. But you got Joel Silver produced this, Lethal Weapon, Joel Silver, among thousands of other things. And the screenplay, you have James Cappy, I don't know who that is, David Arnott, who co-wrote The Last Action Hero, and Daniel Walters, who famously co-wrote Heathers, Batman Returns, Hudson Hawk, and he wrote the unproduced Catwoman movie that they were going to make with Michelle Pfeiffer that was never made in the 90s also.
Yeah, and the music was done by Yellow, who did the very famous "Oh Yeah" song from Ferris Bueller.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I totally forgot about that. And you have the Billy Idol "Cradle of Love" that came out of this. That's probably the most remembered element of this movie.
Yep.
Is the "Cradle of Love" song and video, which Dice was not allowed to appear in because he was
Not allowed.
No, because he was banned from MTV. When he mentions in the movie that he got banned from MTV, it's an inside joke because MTV had banned him for, I think it was jokes he made at the MTV Video Awards.
Yeah, one of those award shows.
He was banned from MTV. There was a controversy when he hosted Saturday Night Live. I remember
and he was, I think he was supposed to, he had signed like a big contract with MTV. He was supposed to like have a show on there or something, and after that, they cut him loose. They were like, no, not anymore.
Yeah, I at this time, I also was 15, 16 years old. So, yeah, it was right in a wheelhouse for me. I was a huge Dice fan at this time. But then 10 years later, 10, 15 years later, when I used to listen to the Opie and Anthony show, he used to come on. And it was a different type of Dice because he was well past his salad days, and I said at the beginning that the peak of his power, he was well past that. But it was interesting hearing Dice not in his persona. He wasn't. He was still Dice, but he wasn't in that uber Dice persona that in 1990 was basically all that you saw. Like, I think in 1990, you wouldn't see the real Andrew Dice Clay. You would just see. I remember in the mid 90s, he did a sitcom, and he was basically playing almost Jackie Gleason type of honeymooners character. And I can remember watching it and just thinking like, wow, this is weird. This is totally different than the Dice Man that I'm used to. Up until that point, it was just the nursery rhymes. It was we're saying, why would he do this movie? But he did have that rock and roll type of persona that he exuded at the time. This was also the height of MTV. And, I even though he was banned from MTV,
he still felt like
I could
MTV.
see why they wanted to be in business with him. But it is funny that you brought up the Robert Englund of the whole thing, because I forgot that he had directed one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and then two, like Andrew said, that explains why. I will say Robert Englund, we're bringing up the cast, Robert Englund and Ed O'Neill, my two MVPs for the cast. Ed O'Neill, you forget how, because you think of him as Al Bundy, but Ed O'Neill is a great comedic actor. And because he's playing it straight in this movie. I don't know why.
2 words. Disco Express.
Disco Express. Are you dealing in beads or what? I mean, that group Blue Dog, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Anus, they had that single, that real shitty single they wanted me to push during my publicist days.
Booty time.
Yeah, Booty Time with that lead singer, the white Van McCoy lookalike with the 6-inch platform shoes, you know, he looked like,
Like me.
yeah, I was gonna say it looked like shit, but he looked like you.
But I have the Booty Time song has stayed with me
Yes.
all these years later. I'll walk around sometimes out of nowhere and just go, Booty Time, cross
Yeah,
the USA.
my brother and I, we like to quote movies to each other, stuff like Armed and Dangerous and, just off the wall stuff. And every so often he'll just come over to me and just go, booty time. and I just lose it.
And Robert Englund, so to set the scene, my brother and my cousins and I knew this movie was coming out in 1990, and we were excited about it. I mean, for us in 1990, this was like a Star Wars movie was coming out. We could not wait to see The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. And I'm pretty sure I didn't see it in the movie theater. I must have seen it on VHS after the fact. In the summer, probably of 91, we just walked around all the time going, hello, hello, Ford. My cousin, again, he's not a big movie guy. I could see him probably tomorrow, and he might say to me, hello, hello, just because he remembers that from Ford Fairlane. But Robert Englund, he has stuck with me for all these years. He's a great bad guy.
Hello, hello.
It's not a great movie. It's the definition of a quotable movie.
Yeah.
There are so many quotable lines in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's held together by the flimsiest of plots, like you guys brought up. Yeah, he's playing a rock and roll detective named Ford Fairlane. He should just be playing Andrew Dice Clay. It doesn't matter. It could have been just Andrew Dice Clay somehow finds himself in a murder mystery. Go for an hour and a half, and that would be it. You don't have You don't have to be playing a character named Ford Fairlane.
Yeah, murder mystery with a side of looking for a kid's father.
Yes. Well, murder mystery with a side of homophobia, misogyny, implied necrophilia, sexual assault, S&M, whips and chains, desecration of the supposed dead, violence against women. I don't know. I probably missed something.
Almost killing an animal.
Almost. You didn't think we killed the fucking koala bear, did you? That's another thing I always remember from that movie. One, that koala bear is creepy. It was a puppet. That's a creepy koala bear. And two, that's another quote that my brother or my cousins and I would throw out there out of nowhere. You didn't think we'd kill the fucking koala, did you?
Yeah. I also want to give a special shout out to Gilbert Gottfried, who had a small role. But it was fun. You see the Gilbert Gottfried character with him. You get in the yelling like you normally do, but then when he has that scene where he's just talking to Ford, it's like, oh, this guy could actually do something besides yell. And even he was pretty good in that. Even he was pretty good.
Suzuki Samurai, you Bensonhurst piece of shit.
When I first saw it, he was a comedian also that I knew from just being a nerd, a comedy nerd, and watching Comedy Channel and Comedy Central and seeing him do stand-up. So when he actually was acting and talking normally, my 15-year-old brain almost exploded because I didn't realize that Gilbert Gottfried was allowed to speak in a normal voice. I thought he could only scream. Now, do either of you know who originally auditioned for that part?
I do.
That I read it recently and I can't remember.
When Andrew says it, you're gonna say, "Oh yeah,
I know." Yeah.
Who was it, Andrew?
Bill Murray.
No.
Yeah.
Howard Stern.
Oh, that makes sense.
Now he says, and this is Howard Stern talking. He says they wrote it with him in mind, and that he auditioned, and it didn't go well, so they didn't cast him in the part. I could see it again. If this is the height of Dice, this is also the height of Howard Stern, or the beginning of the height of Howard Stern.
Yeah.
So I could see how they would base that character on him. Wow, you're giving me the Andrew. What do you disagree?
I can't see Howard Stern calling Dice and like, is this Chevy Nova?
Well, no, he's not going to play it like Gilbert Gottfried, but he could be that smarmy asshole DJ. He just wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it exactly. I mean, there was only one Gilbert Gottfried. He's not going to do it the same as Gilbert Gottfried.
This movie has a crazy cast.
It does.
It does. Yep. You know, Wayne Newton has a small role. You know, you got Morris Day in the Time.
Wayne Newton and his teeth.
Yeah, Morris Day pops up there.
There you go.
That was one of my favorites. Is with where he recognizes Ed O'Neill at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to shave before you leave the house in a dress like that. And I don't mean your legs.
Priscilla Presley. You know that this was her only other movie role other than the Naked Gun trilogy? The original Naked Gun trilogy? This is her only... Looking great, too. Priscilla Presley.
Yeah.
Andrew, much like Cats, Priscilla Presley, underrated. Underrated, my man.
While we're doing hot chicks, Carrie Wurr.
Yes. As the sorority.
Very nice looking lady. Sheila E.
Yeah.
Yep. But we haven't brought up the number
Vince
one.
Neil. Vince Neil makes a brief appearance.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't. The number one wasn't Vince Neil, but yes, he does.
We touched on Robert England. But I know who you want to talk about, Mike. But
who? Jazz?
Well, are we gonna go into a segment? We're kind of going all over the place. Are we gonna do our segments, Mike? Or?
We are going to do our segments. Can I just say that Lauren Holly looks amazing in this movie?
She is gorgeous.
My goodness, those legs.
Yep.
I usually, and this is no offense, no offense to anybody out there, I usually don't like women with shorter hairdos, but it worked on Lauren Holly. Whatever happened to Lauren Holly, by the way? Early 90s Lauren Holly, she did this, then she did Dumb and Dumber, and she started dating Jim Carrey, and then disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know if maybe she pissed Jim Carrey off and he disappeared her somewhere.
Well, they were married for a year.
Yep.
And
that's it, right? They're married for a year, and then she was never heard of again. She was never heard from again.
She worked until 2014. Okay, there's a show called Motive. I'm not familiar with it.
I think she might have done a few TV spots.
She did. I think she did. What was the Picket Fences? I think she was on Picket Fences.
Oh, with our buddy? Okay.
With who? Tom Skerritt? Who's our buddy?
Oh, wait. No, I'm thinking of the guy who was in Private Resort. What was the show he did? North by North.
Northern Exposure.
Sorry. Getting my
I thought about
get things crossed.
I thought about him and I fell asleep because his whole personality just puts me to sleep every time I think of him. I can't even remember his name. Rob something. I'm sure he listens. I'm sorry, sir.
You're right. She was on Picket Fences, and she did. I didn't watch this, but for some reason, my wife loved Designated Survivor with Jack Bauer. She did that till 2019.
Okay.
So, at any rate.
But my God, yes, Lauren Holly. Mad props, Lauren Holly. Good Lord. Yes. So we will get to some of our categories now. Andrew, what do you want to do first? I give you first choice.
Well, I'm foaming at the mouth to do this that guy. So.
All right. So you want to do that guy?
Yeah.
All right.
It might be. I have a feeling. I'm gonna get a feeling here that Brad and I have the same one, but I'll give him the floor. He's the guest.
Yes, Brad, you're the guest.
That guy is David Patrick Kelly.
Yep, exactly who I had in mind.
I had him also.
Yep.
Warriors, come out!
Yep, Warriors.
I wish I had two bottles to click together for this.
Yeah, he was in The Crow, which is my favorite comic book movie. And when I was growing up, he was in the PBS TV show Ghost Rider, which was a favorite of mine. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was a TV show on PBS that was called Ghost Rider, like writing. Not Rider. Yeah,
I thought you were making a joke that Ghost Rider with the flaming skull was on.
No.
It's just his New York accent. He can't help it.
And he had I think it was they did like like 5 or 6 episode arcs on the show, and he was on one arc of that, and that's actually where I had first remembered seeing him, and then The Crow, and then The Warriors.
Was he younger or was he already?
Ghost Rider was like, I think it was mid 90s.
Okay, so he was already
or earlier
Okay.
90s. So like after this movie.
I admit I had to look. When I saw him, it was the definition of a this that guy because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I know that guy. Who is he? So I looked him
The
up.
voice.
And then,
Yeah, the
yes,
voice.
Sam the Sleaze, also known as T-Bird, also known as Luther in The
Yep.
Warriors.
Yep.
Warriors, come out to play.
Let's give him his what, I don't know what's more well, obviously Warriors is just got to be a shining moment, but how about Commando when Ray Dong Chong blows him off? You fucking whore.
That's right. I gotta watch Commando again. It's been
Matrix
way too long
hangs
since
him
I watched
over
Commando.
by his foot, and he's like, "Remember, I promised to kill you last Sally." Oh, that's right, Matrix. You did. I lied.
Oh, that's him.
That's him.
He really
Yep.
is. I was gonna say he's that guy. He
He
is
is that
definitely
guy.
that. He
Yeah.
is
That
definitely
guy.
that guy.
Yep.
Andrew, tell
Well-
your brother there's no way he's gonna argue about if he's who that
You
guy
know,
is.
Mike,
this week.
do you want me to just hang up and have my brother do this podcast with you? Because this is the third one in a row you're bringing up my freaking brother.
I'm thinking about having a Steve Gross corner, and we're just gonna read his comments that he has
Andrew,
for.
you're in the place. Apparently he was in Demolition Man, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I saw that once in the theater, and then I've never seen it again.
It's a good movie. Don't you blade out on me for that one.
Is that is that Sandy Bullock?
Yep.
Sandra
and,
Bullock.
Yes, I was gonna say
Stallone, Wesley Snipes.
John
That's
Spartan.
a good movie.
Hello,
Demolition
John
Man.
Spartan.
The three seashells.
Yeah. Dennis Leary, one of his first
Yep.
roles,
Yeah.
basically doing a stand-up.
I was gonna say he's basically doing Dice because he's doing
I wanna
he's
smoke
doing
every
No
day and eat
Cure for
hamburger.
Cancer in the middle of Demolition Man, and I mean I was there for it because I was a big Dennis Leary fan at the time.
God, David Patrick was in John Wick. Man, I gotta pay more attention. Huh. David Patrick, give him some flowers. He's been in a lot of shit.
He has been. He's a quintessential that guy.
He pretty much has clicked off a movie a year for up until just 2022. So he's probably got stuff in production right now. He's also apparently an accomplished musician, so that's interesting.
There you go. Well, the other guy I picked, and I only picked him because he had a connection to one of our previous episodes.
All right.
He played basically the name of his character in the movie was Punk Gunslinger. He was one of the henchmen at the end, and his name is William Shockley. He played Andrew Carver in Showgirls, the singer at the end who rapes Nomi's best friend.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it's not because this time it wasn't because I saw him and thought, oh, I know that guy. I was just looking on IMDb like, all right, let me look at some of these actors and see if I know some of the roles they've been in. So I clicked on him. I was like, oh, that's the dickhead from Showgirls. At least she beats the shit out of him at the end.
Yeah.
And while we're bringing up henchmen, that was the least believable part of the movie was Dice fist fighting with bad guys.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't buying the whole Dice as badass action hero guy.
Yeah, like smart mouth, asshole, definitely, but not the tough.
That's a role he was born to play. But
Yeah.
action hero, I don't know. So is that it? Did you have any you guys have any other?
No.
guys?
Brad and I are on the same
Yep.
wavelength. He went right for David Kelly. So
Can I bring up the discount rack because this was a hard one for me.
yeah. That's I think we've covered that guy, that girl. So yeah.
Yeah, for the discount rack, I really could not think of anybody. So my discount rack was Black Plague, the band that Vince Neil is singing for. It was just basically discount Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
And they originally wanted the lead singer of Rat, Stephen Piercy, was supposed to play that role. Or is it Pierce or Piercy?
Piercy
Was supposed to play that role, but he I don't know what happened. He couldn't. So Vince Neil weight gain Vince Neil.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Vince Neil when he was doing blow every other day and staying razor thin. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's why it was hard to realize that it was him. You're like,
Yeah.
oh wait, that is him.
I'm not gonna lie.
I knew it because of the voice.
I didn't mind the song.
Another great song on the soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't mind the song. I actually thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
A little bit earlier today, Mike and I were reminiscing how much we miss soundtracks. They were usually pretty damn good in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. The only good soundtracks now, I think, are the Guardians of the Galaxy had good soundtracks. Those are the last ones I can remember.
Right.
Yeah, you don't think they're good soundtracks?
Well, because it's just it's a mixtape. These were songs made for and you know, so it wasn't like you were getting a mixtape. You were getting, you know, artists making original music for these movies. And there's, as far as I can remember, when I was going back to Saturday Night Fever, there was some great music coming
Booty time.
Coming along with movies. I mean, just phenomenal.
Well, you had Ford Fairlane. You had the Young Guns 2 soundtrack. I'm not being ironic about that. It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it is.
David Kelly, Warriors. You know, In the City, the Eagles wrote that for that movie, and that's one of my top 10 most favorite songs of all time. I love that song.
That's a great track. Earlier we were talking about the Lost Boys. That's one of the greatest soundtracks. Yeah. I love that soundtrack. I can throw it on anytime. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I do like. Who does the cover of "People Are Strange"? Is that? That's
Asbury? Echo and the Bunnymen.
Echo and the Bunnymen.
Echo and the Bunnymen did "People Are." I gotta look this up.
It's funny that you're talking about the Lost Boys soundtrack because as soon as you said that, all I hear is "Thou shalt not kill." I can't sing. Sorry.
Yep. Cry Little Sister.
Yes, and then I think of the guy playing saxophone. And I think it's like that's like nobody at all, and then it's saxophone player in Lost Boys, and it's just him oiled up with no shirt on, wailing on that saxophone.
And he's still touring too.
Yeah, he's leaned into it. Hey, good for him. Hey, if you got to be known for something, why not be known for that?
Yep. Wait a minute, guys. Why isn't Bon Jovi on this?
In what?
Lost Boys soundtrack.
Bon Jovi didn't do a song for the Lost Boys.
Yes, he did. Freaking Dead or Alive. Well,
for the Lost Boys?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Young Guns?
Oh, no, that was Young Guns, wasn't it?
He didn't do one of Dead or Alive for Young Guns either. He did Blaze of Glory.
Oh, okay. Blaze of Glory. That's the song.
And a very underrated song, Billy Get Your Guns. I'm not lying. The Young Guns 2 soundtrack is unironically a really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
I owned it on cassette. We were talking about cassettes earlier for Ed and I. I probably owned it on CD also. But did anybody else have any other discount rack? I couldn't think of anybody else.
Yeah, I couldn't find one other. You know, that's probably the best one, the one that you brought up.
Andrew, did you have anybody?
No, but I'm going to play a little trivia with you guys. That's related here. Calm down, Mike. Okay, the soundtrack made more money than the movie.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And as we discussed, Ford was not Ford. Dice, Andrew Clay was not allowed to be in the video.
Mm-hmm.
But do you two perverts remember who was? Now, don't say Billy Idol.
Oh, whew. I don't know. I remember they had clips from the movie because I remember the part with Sam the Sleaze putting his face up to the.
No, there was a whole part of this video with a girl and I don't know why I remember this. Black skirt, high heels, black nylons. Do you know?
No, who was it? I don't know. Brad, do you know who it is? I do know that Billy Idol was supposed
to play... It's somebody famous.
Billy Idol was supposed to play the Robert Englund role of Smiley, but he had to drop out because of his motorcycle accident. No, who is it, Andrew? We don't know.
Wait.
Oh, goodness. Sure this is the right answer. Was it Priscilla Presley in a tight skirt?
No, I'm losing my mind here.
Was it the koala bear?
No, they're saying it's this person. I thought it was like a young,
I know. An underage?
Like a Nev Campbell or somebody. It was somebody.
No, there's no way it was Nev Campbell.
No,
she
no,
would have
no,
been way too
I'm
young.
saying
Oh, like
They're
a
saying
teen
it's
star?
some actress I never heard of.
Tori Spelling?
Yeah. It's Betsy Lynn. All right, I'm totally screwing this up because it's not who I thought it was. I'm sorry.
Okay, so never. So nobody wins. You get nothing. God have mercy on your soul. Can I do the Wendy Joe Sperber Memorial?
Yes, please.
I had Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
that's who I had too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could. There's other people who've kicked it since this movie's
he
come out,
died
but
a long time ago. I'm really getting old.
2022.
22. Yeah. Do you know what's on his gravestone? It just says "too soon," because he made that joke years ago, right after 9/11, and he said "too soon." So that's what he put on his. That's what he put on his gravestone. But yeah, he is good in this movie. He's only in it for what, about 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
And he's funny. He's doing his Gilbert Gottfried shtick, but like Brad brought up, he's doing a little bit of acting. At that time, he was in Problem Child. He'd pop up and stuff, but he's another one. He was playing himself. But
Yeah.
He was hysterical in Problem Child.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
But he's acting a little bit in this. I mean, not a lot.
Yeah.
This isn't a movie you're going to go to for the acting, but he's doing a little bit of acting. And like,
Is this Chevy Nova?
Is this Chevy Nova?
I was cracking up. I'm such a cheap laugh.
I'm trying to think of some of the more disgusting things that he said to him now I can't remember. I'm actually remembering when he puts the cassette in of him and Priscilla Presley, and he's barking like a dog, and she's spanking him. And was that, Brad, maybe you remember, was that a Dice thing that "here's to you sucking my dick"? Was that him, or was that just for the movie?
I want to say that's from something Dice did outside of this movie.
Yeah, that sounds like a line he just throw in at one of his transitions or something.
Here's to you, buddy. Sucking my dick.
Or even the Clint Eastwood. I fucked him.
Oh.
Yes, so he was my Wendy Joe Sperber. Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. You are definitely missed.
Yep.
I'm thinking of all the comedians who have died recently, and now it's making me think Norm Macdonald, which means I want to do Dirty Work now on this show as one of the movies we cover. And now I want to watch Dirty Work, but that's beside the point. I'm sure there's other people who have kicked it, but I think I had to look because I wasn't sure if Wayne Newton was still with us.
I
had to double.
Hey man,
he is.
Those are some nicely capped teeth. I'll tell you, those things were white. Maybe it was the HD TV, but I was like, whoa, all right.
Someone got veneers.
And to not, he's not that bad playing against type. When I said this is a funny movie, even though it's not a good movie, but there's no one giving bad, even Dice, he's playing himself, but it's a funny performance. There's nobody giving bad performances.
Like if you have 90 minutes, to spare or whatever, this is a movie you can toss on and just sit there and be entertained the whole time.
My mother always said that you can't say something nice about someone. Make sure they're out of the goddamn room.
It's very, very, borrows stuff from like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, I thought.
Yeah, and a little bit of Last Action Hero also.
Yeah.
I don't remember that movie as well, but like he lives down by the beach. That's what Mel Gibson did, and they're on a skyscraper. I made me think of Die Hard. Like it's shot in kind of like, I don't know how to say this, but like a gritty look to it, which reminded me of Die Hard. Like the way it's lit, the way the film is, however you still want to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Joel
bad.
Silver influence.
Oh yeah.
You could definitely see the Joel Silver influence.
Did he do those movies too? Okay.
He produced Lethal Weapon. I know that. I'm trying to think of I'm sure he was a big action movie producer in the early 90s, so I'm sure a couple of those other ones we just brought up he probably did. But he's Probably most famous for Lethal Weapon, for producing
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
He produced The Matrix too. I know that.
Him and a mountain of cocaine, most likely, in the late '80s and early '90s. I'm sure there were mountains of cocaine being consumed on this movie as well.
Yeah. Given who's involved, yep.
Well, you know what? I'm saying that, but in all honesty, there probably wasn't, because something I read is that Rennie Harlin was famously very anti-drug. He didn't want drug references in his movies, so he would try to cut out as many drug references as he could. So there you go. Maybe people had to go back to their trailers to consume the mountains of cocaine.
Yeah,
they
there
weren't
you go.
doing it in front of Rennie Harlin.
Yeah, as long as it wasn't within eyesight.
But the easiest of our categories, the MASH connection, which is sponsored by the Tabasco Film Company of Havana, Cuba. That was the easiest one to pick. It was Andrew Dice Clay, of course.
Yes.
Which
I still can't get over that.
Which Andrew and I have brought up already in Private Resort. Yeah.
The weirdest thing though, like the very first time I saw the episode, and even now, like when I see him in that episode, I swear it's Steve Guttenberg. He looks like Steve Guttenberg. Yeah, he looks like it. You know, he has like the short, like almost like curliest type of hair, and you know, I just look at him, just like, when I first saw it, that was my first. I was like, wait, that can't be Steve Guttenberg.
I can kind of see what you're saying. I mean, it was like babyface Dice.
Yeah.
It was before he had the whole super slicked up hair, and
yeah,
the voice isn't the same isn't that put on voice that he has. So
yeah,
it is always weird just to think that he's on MASH. But I mean, as always, they always have those clips. There's so many before they were stars, people who appeared on MASH, that he's just one in a long line of people that you can go on there and find when you're, especially later seasons of MASH, that you see.
Oh yeah,
Patrick Swayze and Joey Pants, Lawrence Fishburne, back when he was still Larry Fishburne.
Yep.
I love Larry Fishburne.
I still wish Dice would have guested on MASH as Dice, though.
Hawkeye, oh! Colonel Potter, I fucked him, oh!
Well, this episode is definitely getting the explicit tag.
Oh yeah.
So those were all. Yeah, that was the easiest. That was the easiest category. I mean, we knew from the very beginning that that was gonna be the MASH connection. I didn't see any other. I was looking for other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the easiest one, the one because the star of the movie. But yeah, without like digging around and trying to find like some obscure connection or something, that was really the only one.
They couldn't get Wayne Newton on there somehow.
Yeah.
It's a visiting surgeon for the 8063rd, and it's Wayne Newton and his white teeth.
Yeah, the singing surgeon.
There you go. Before we forget, you could tell it's 1990 because Tone Loc popped up in this movie.
Yes.
Right.
Tone Loc.
Yeah.
Actually, I love how Dice comes and like they dap up. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing we forgot to mention when we introduced this movie, it's an award-winning movie.
Yes,
multiple
it is.
award-winning, Razzie award-winning movie. Yep. Dice, the movie, the screenplay, all won Razzies. Wayne Newton and Rennie Harlin lost out, but the biggest, I think, one of the biggest losses was Gilbert Gottfried, and who he lost out to. Gilbert Gottfried lost out to someone who made a very, I guess maybe like a split-second cameo in the movie. What is it called? Ghosts Can't Do It.
Oh, I've heard of that movie.
The person he lost out to is actually living in the White House currently. Yeah.
He probably has that golden raspberry on his desk somewhere on the White House, in the White House right now.
Yeah.
He probably went and accepted, thinking it's a major award.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I had read that it had won a bunch of Razzies, which doesn't surprise me. But
No, it doesn't.
you know what? I'm saying that it doesn't surprise me. In that, I'm sure I would love to go back and see Siskel and Ebert reviewing this movie. But this movie is rewatchable on a 10 to 10 on a rewatchable level.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep on harping on it. The quotable lines in this movie are off the chart. It doesn't matter what's going on in the plot. It doesn't matter. I don't care that he's looking for the kid's dad. That kid was in Step by Step, by the way. He played JT in Step by Step. He wants with his stupid Flintstones ring, and he's looking for his dad, and they're looking for. I'm writing down in my notes Art Mooney, trying to remember what his importance to the plot. It's just funny to see Dice be Dice and being an asshole to everybody around him.
And I will say, the ending is very touching, where he tries to explain to the kid about his dad, and he's like, you know what, I'll be your dad. It's like it's kind of touching there.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
But then they follow it up with the phone ringing, and he finally wins the contest.
I wanted to make sure that I brought up the hit pay dirt with K dirt. That's going on all through the movie as they're all trying to win the radio contest.
You'd almost think that they sponsored the movie or something.
Yeah, right. I do like that at the end when he's like, "You're not allowed to say shit on the air." Shit, I just said it on the air. Yeah, when he first showed the ring to him, in the back of my head, I had the thought of I thought to myself, is that a Flintstones ring? And then later they do the yabba dabba doo just to put the kind of exclamation point on. I was like, okay, I guess it was a Flintstone ring.
Yeah.
But so I brought up already Ed O'Neill, how good he is in this. And like I said, Robert Englund, they wanted Billy Idol to play the role of Smiley. I get looks wise, sure. I don't think he would have brought the menace.
No.
Like Robert Englund's almost in a different movie. He's playing it he's not playing it totally menacing and scary. There's a little bit of that comedic edge, but he, out of anybody, presents an actual threat to him in the movie. And it's horrible. But when Jazz calls him and he says to Ford, he asked him if that's his assistant. And he says, I look forward to raping her at your funeral. I was like, damn. I was like, man.
Sorry, that was my assistant.
Your assistant is quite special. I look forward to raping her at your funeral.
And even with the ring, where he thinks that he's the kid's father, and he tells him, oh, that ring, I killed somebody and took it from him. I was like, oh man, this is getting it's heavy.
Yeah, like you actually believed what he's saying there.
Although I don't understand how he unloaded the machine gun into the door of the hearse while they were driving next to each other, and none of the bullets hit Ford, and you could see all the bullet marks on the door. So there must have been a bulletproof hearse that he was driving in as the supposed dead body is falling on him. I did remember that line when she falls against him, and he says, "Honey, you must have been an organ. I hope you were an organ donor."
Damn, baby. I hope you filled out some organ donor cards.
That was pretty funny.
Now, was she anybody? I didn't look it up. Was she anybody famous? Was she a model or an actress? Playboy playmate? Andrew, you're usually good at noticing these things. Her and the neighbor from Easy Money.
Yeah. Let me see what I can find out here.
Well, while you're looking it up,
Big boob chick in limousine.
There you go. Big boob chick in limousine in Ford Fairlane. I do like that they kind of have to pay lip service to the rock and roll detective aspect of it. So in the beginning, when she tells him in excess paid with the koala, when he just says fucking Australians. Like, where? That's what I mean with the mountain of coke. Where do they decide, okay, we're going to have a puppet koala in the movie, and it's going to be a running gag through the whole movie when he's sitting on the couch eating, and the koala's eating cereal next to him as they're watching TV.
Yeah, that's why you can't believe the no drugs on set rule.
Yeah. Did you find anything out, Andrew? What'd you find out?
Of
What do we
course
got?
I did.
Are there pictures?
We got to put. She well, let's go back to the Wendy Jo. She just passed.
Okay, so we'll add her onto the. Hopefully, she and Gilbert Gottfried entered the pearly gates together, holding hands. Sorry, rest in peace. Again, I'm sure Gilbert's family is listening.
She did some not a lot of work. She was in one episode of ER. Go figure. Okay. She was in one episode of Married with Children. I'm sure she was on full display.
Yeah.
She's quite gifted.
She has very good lungs.
The Bobo and Skippy show. Angela, God knows what the hell that is.
What? The what?
It's literally called the Bobo and Skippy show. CSI Miami. She did an episode. So
wait, what's her name?
That sounded like a show that Henry Blake got the tapes for.
Yeah, from the Tabasco Film Company. So what's her name? This poor woman that we're objectifying.
Cindy Anna.
Okay. All right.
It's Cindy, but one word. Cindy A-N-A. Cindy Anna Santangelo.
She had a very Julie. You know who Julie Strain is?
Yes.
She had like a kind of like a Julie Strain type of look, a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
A little bit. That's why I saw her and I thought, okay, maybe she was somebody in the early '90s who was I'm sure she appeared in music videos and all that kind of stuff. She looked
it's like that girl from Joysticks with the hot dog between her knockers. Her
That's the only part of that movie I remember.
Her IMDb is just full of videos where, okay, we need a gorgeous actress with big boobs to play a cheerleader, to play a stripper, to play a bikini model. And that's all her resume is. This girl, outside of, she's, Married with Children, stripper, Wild Orchid 2, girl in brothel.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the Bust a Move video for Young MC as a dancer.
Oh, that's a good video. Not as good as the MC Hammer video.
Her IMDb is very tiny, but
okay. Speaking of Tone Loc, Young MC, and MC Hammer, I did like that he said that Jazz told them that Milli Vanilli paid him in bicycle shorts.
I like that.
And him and Jazz, I know it's implied that they had a relationship before, but yeah, there's nothing like some light sexual harassment every time they have forcing himself on her. You look back at it now and you're like, all right, I'm sure then I was like, haha, look at this is great. But now I'm like, all right, this is a little uncomfortable as she's telling you not to kiss her and you're just shoving it's for comedic purposes, but when he eats the hors d'oeuvre and he kisses her and then when he kisses her again and she's like, I'm glad it didn't I'm surprised there wasn't an hors d'oeuvre included with that.
Yeah, a lot of everyone always says something like Blazing Saddles could never get made today. There's no way that like 80% of this movie gets made today.
Well, we were talking about Gilbert Gottfried. He calls him Chevy Nova and he calls him Suzuki Samurai.
Yeah.
Is this Suzuki Samurai?
No, does he drop that one? Oh, that's great.
I was gonna say, when did they stop making Suzuki Samurais, Andrew? You would know this stuff.
In the 80s.
Yeah, okay.
Well, in the States.
By the way, Dice, not very good at fake guitar playing.
No.
Not very good at fake guitar playing at all.
Yeah, how about how about the musical number? Okay, let me show you rock and roll, kid.
I like that song. You know how I know that song? I know that song from the Aerosmith album Live Bootleg from 1978. They do it live. There's a recording of them doing it live from before they were signed to Columbia Records. It's them in a club doing Ain't Got You and then also Mother Popcorn by James Brown. And it's a really good version. Their version is really good. So I knew that song when this movie came out. But
is he did they try to, in your research, does he actually sing that?
I didn't look.
Are we trying to let it believe that he actually sang?
I didn't look. I'm sure his voice was helped along by They didn't have auto-tune then, but whatever they did to help people who couldn't sing. Like the guy who is recording before him, he's actually gone on to direct low-budget horror movies. The guy who plays the singer
Oh, okay.
that is recording. He looked like he looked like Mark Slaughter. I thought it was Mark Slaughter from Slaughter at first.
Come on. Sorry.
I did like the Priscilla Presley line when she said, when I was 11, I walked in with my father and a Shetland pony and he gave me for my birthday. Does that shock you? I don't know. I never met your father. And there was the line, and I'm sorry, we also used this all the time, when you get to meet Stanley, and he just says, down Stanley, Roseanne Barr naked, gone.
When I was 11, I walked in on my father and the Shetland pony he gave me for my 10th birthday. Does that excite you?
I don't know. I never met your father.
Now, I will say him, Dice, and Zuzu Pedals, and I have her name written somewhere.
She is fun. She was funny.
They were funny together as he just berates her the whole time. And that part of his acting was great, where he plays annoyed off of her, and he's like, "Come on, stupid." When she's like, "Oh, maybe it was just a pot pie," right before his apartment blows up. And when he first meets her, when he goes into the club, when he's like $300, the guy's like, the girl blew me to get in here. All right, I'll pay. And all the girls are putting the lipstick on, and he's like, how many? I can't remember the line, but he said something like, how many of you got in here for free or something like that.
How much?
300?
300. You charged the chicks one.
Hey, they blew me.
300 coming up.
I did write in my notes. It just says Dice sings with an exclamation point. I don't think that was him. I don't think it was him. I also had Jazz with 3 exclamation points, because when Lauren Holly comes walking in that party, good Lord, good God. I mean, she looked cute. You know, it's the old movie trope that, oh, look, she has glasses on. She must not be attractive. Oh, she took her glasses off. Yes, she looks attractive. She looked cute even with the glasses on. Lauren Holly, that's what I mean. I'm surprised that she did not do more. She was good in Dumb and Dumber. She was actually good in this. I first met her on All My Children. My mom used to watch the soap opera All My Children, and she was on All My Children. I remember her. My mom would tape All My Children in General Hospital in the summer. My brother and I would stay up with her and watch All My Children. Hey, man, pour one out. Erica Kane, baby. Love her. Susan Lucci. I knew her from All My Children. So seeing this movie, I was like, I can't remember her character's name. You brought up Carrie Wur. First of all, Carrie Wur, not the only MTV royalty that was in this movie, because my man Kurt Loder was in this movie also.
Yeah.
He's just playing it totally deadpan as he's talking about the funeral. But Carrie Wur, I do like when he goes to when he calls Jazz up and he's like, I'm at the sorority, I ate a pie or something. It's like called something like that. Where we had the discount Ted McGinley with the Corvette, who doesn't give him a ride, gives him the finger, and then the Corvette gets destroyed. So there you go. I should have put him in the discount rack, but he wasn't in it long enough to actually make any kind of impression. I did put, your assistant is quite special. I look forward to raping her at your funeral. My God. It is a good line, though. I mean, if you're going to play a badass killer, that is a pretty good line. And I remember that you didn't think we were going to kill the koala, but I forgot that he finds him spinning on the on the ceiling fan when he walks into the apartment.
So I need a moment of redemption here because I made my discovery.
Okay.
If you recall, 20 minutes ago, I tried to get you two perverts to tell me who was the hot chick in the video, because it was on a couple misinformation, in my own defense, that it was Claire Danes.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, that was that's until it was later the actress like, hey, wait a minute, not her, but it was long thought to be Claire Danes before.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, she would have had to have been super young.
So I had no idea until I read these articles while we've been talking that was a bit of a situation that for years she was credited as being in that video, and it was someone else.
Oh my God.
Well, remember, this is pre-social media, so, shit like this wouldn't last 2 seconds with Twitter and everything, but back then, yeah, so...
Well, we were bringing up how his relationship with Zuzu Pedals, that one line he does say, talking to Zuzu was like masturbating with a cheese grater. Mildly amusing, but painful.
Yeah.
Talking to Zuzu was like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but mostly painful.
And when they walk into the sorority, you have the girls, they're having a pillow fight. There's a group of girls doing aerobics. They come out with the corn dogs, and they're just deep-throating the corn dogs. And he just looks at it and goes, ooh, ooh. That's right. I ate a pie sorority is what he tells Jazz, the name of the sorority. And that's the other thing with this movie, just the thrown off violence towards women, where they throw Jazz out of the window. They're laughing as they throw her out of the second floor window. She gets punched in the stomach. Meanwhile, it's like weird because you could see maybe at one point they were trying to make the movie a little bit more serious than it was, but then you have Gilbert Gottfried dying, and you hear him saying, "Oh, I'm being electrocuted. Oh, it hurts," which was actually funny because it's Gilbert Gottfried doing it.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh no, that's just him. He's just doing a bit."
Yeah, you can't say. I can't remember what he says. You can't say shit, motherfucker, on the air or something like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of falling, the line that Andrew does like to bring up, and one of the other famous lines in my family anyway, when Zuzu, Ford, and Smiley fall off the building.
Oh, yeah.
And you see them screaming, and they just show Andrew Dice Clay's face, and he's doing his best John Travolta when he says, my hair, my hair.
My hair, my hair.
Oh, I don't know how many times my brother and I said that to each other for probably about 3 years straight. As I said, I cannot say it anymore now. I can't do the my hair joke unless I'm being ironic. But you could tell a lot of it was him bringing his stuff into it. I mean, at one point when he tells, it's right after that when they fall off and the tourist asked him, "Do you know where Sunset Strip is?" And he's like, "Get out of here, go back to Wisconsin." And he's like, "We're from Idaho. I'm from my dad's dick." I mean, that's a quintessential Dice line.
Excuse me. Could you tell us how to get to Mann's Chinese Theater?
Back to Michigan, asswipe.
Oh, we're from Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I'm from my dad's penis. Get out of here.
Yeah. I always thought the coolest thing in the world was when he has the gun come out of his jacket. From his I even watching it, just a few weeks ago, I'm like, that, for some reason, I've always been like, that is just the coolest thing. Like, you just, like, you go to shoot someone, like, it's up, yep, right up my sleeve. Yeah, so I always thought that was
10 seconds away from the most embarrassing moment in your life.
Yeah, and then the gun goes flying off.
Yeah. Well, it's Chekhov's gun in reality because Chekhov's Sunday or whatever it was he was drinking. He gets the milkshake or whatever he is. He's shake me because he throws it on Wayne Newton and then sets him on fire.
Yeah.
And that's he kills Robert Englund with it finally working, right? Is that when he says, "Thanks for working"?
Yeah.
I did like that too. I remember that part at the end when he's like, "Why would you throw your gun down? Mano and mano, what does that even mean?"
Mano tomato. How does mano tomato mean? Use your head. Snap ahead.
That was a funny speech. This was I don't know if it's time to talk about it yet, but like I thought this movie was pretty damn good. I don't know why it bombed, honestly.
No, we can talk about it.
I thought it was a very enjoyable romp.
I think it's a funny movie. I don't think it should have been a blockbuster, and I keep repeating it. It's a collection of really funny lines, but that doesn't matter. It's funny. It makes you laugh. I think we would all agree on that it's a funny movie.
Oh,
it was one of the ones I actually looked forward to watching it because I hadn't seen it in so long. But I still remembered most of the, except for the koala being hung on the ceiling fan, which I totally forgot.
Yeah. It wasn't Private Resort, that's for sure.
God, no. No, it wasn't Private Resort or Zapped. Oh.
No, I don't think this by any stretch was a steaming pile of crap. I thought it was very. I don't remember. I saw it in the theater, believe it or not.
Ah, you're lucky. I wish I would have seen it in the theater.
And I remember enjoying it then, and I enjoyed rewatching it.
I think this would have been a fun movie to see in the theater if you're a 15-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
With a bunch of other like-minded teenagers, because you're just going to be laughing and talking to the screen. It's not a movie that needs to be taken seriously at all. I mean, we can talk about it when we get into the Zmed-O-Meter. Dice, for as big as he was when this movie was coming out, there was that backlash that was kind of starting to bubble against him, and not the backlash of his audience. It was the backlash of, I mean, I would almost say the corporate part of Hollywood, where they started to see that, okay, what he's doing is starting to piss off some people, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get him to sand down his personality. And he was starting to piss off the wrong people. He got banned on MTV. Saturday Night Live, when he went on Saturday Night Live, famously Nora Dunn walked out and wasn't on that episode.
What?
And yeah, she wouldn't appear because she didn't want to appear with him. And then some people didn't want him to appear. Some people did. He wasn't that great on the show. So that started causing a backlash toward him. And you have to think, this was the time of, as much as we'll do the Zmed-O-Meter and say that you could get away with stuff in 1990, this was also the time there was still Tipper Gore and the PMRC with music was still going on. Parents were still worried about what kids were watching. I always have to say, I know my parents are an anomaly, and I guess Brad's are too. My mom and dad were watching this stuff, so they didn't care if I saw this. But, you know, you'll talk to people who will say, there's no way my parents would have let me watch Dice. Now, that made them want to see it more. It made them more popular in their eyes. So I think it was coming out. And there are a few Dice, for as big as he was. And he stuck around. He was in A Star Is Born, where he wasn't nominated for the Oscar, Andrew, but wasn't he up for some kind of award for A Star Is Born for supporting actor?
Oh, I don't know.
I think you had said to me that he got good review. He was good in A Star Is
Yeah,
Born.
he was good in that,
Gaga's
and
dad.
the movie with what was it?
Tommy Lee and Pam.
No, the Woody Allen movie that he was in. That was that one he got nominated for.
Okay, and it's weird to think. Like, would you ever think in 1990 that Andrew Dice Clay would have been in a Woody Allen movie? He was good in the show Vinyl that was on HBO. It only lasted one season.
Yeah,
but he played a record exec in the 70s. He was very good in that. I think it took him to be brought down a little bit, that he was able to kind of let go of that Dice persona and then actually act and actually spread his wings a little bit more than just doing nursery rhymes. Because I look back at it now. I haven't listened to his full comedy sets in a long time. I don't know how much of it I would find as amusing as I did back then. Some of it I probably would. And some of it would just be nostalgia. But he survived. I think it's just that Eddie Murphy got super big and has stayed, not consistently, but he's still a big name. This was, and like I said at the beginning, the height of Dice, and then the backlash really came swiftly after this.
Yeah, it was almost like they were waiting for this movie to come out, just to watch it bomb so they can just pounce.
Yeah. Andrew, thoughts?
It's one of the first signs of today called someone getting canceled.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I mean, he didn't get canceled for one thing, but he was pissing off, and he was also scaring parents, and like I said, the money men too, who they don't care about what the parents think. They just care about if they're going to make money. And I think they were starting to think that, okay, he can only go, or he can only make money maybe with stand up. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with him making movies. So
yeah, their ROI wasn't very good on him.
yeah, basically. Do we want to get into the Zmed-O-Meter ratings for this
No.
one?
Before we do, I just want to say this is, we see, at least in my opinion, we've seen a lot of comics when they come out. They're very raw and crude, and they get famous and they start saying, "Oh, wait, I can do this movie thing and make a lot of money," and all of a sudden they're not nearly as edgy. And I think that list is long, and he somehow didn't survive that as well as, say, like a Eddie Murphy, certainly, or Richard Pryor, or a George Carlin, or
you know who even, and because it took a couple years to figure out that, and he said it now too. I mean, Andrew Dice Clay was a persona. It's not him. It's not him at all. I mean, he's. I think what a lot of people didn't get is that he's doing a parody of that John Travolta type of meathead type of guy. Also, it's not really him. But I think somebody, and the person I'm going to compare him to, it wasn't as dirty or vulgar as he was, but like an Adam Sandler who had a certain persona, but learned how to tweak it a little bit and do other movies that were more family friendly, and then also go into dramas and do some. I mean, Uncut Gems. I tell everybody that is a great movie. And when you see Adam Sandler's in it, you're like, okay, it's Adam Sandler. Uncut Gems is a great movie, and you can't believe that Adam Sandler is playing this role. He should have been nominated for Best Actor. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you
think
start
Adam
seeing
Sandler,
it with you start seeing it with him, like especially like 50 First Dates or Big Daddy. That there's more to him than just being the funny guy.
And I know, I mean, I don't think it's an exact comparison because he didn't do the same type of comedy, but I mean, you know, he was a little bit edgier, and he had that Adam Sandler persona, especially when he first left Saturday Night Live and started doing movies like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. But he kind of learned, and I mean, he had his failures. I think with Little Nicky is when that bombed, and then I think he figured out, okay, I need to start kind of changing this around because it's getting stale and people are getting tired of me. And if they turn on me and get tired of me, I'm not going to have much of a career. Now, you can argue how funny his movies have been since then, and a lot of people say, well, he just wants to make movies with his friends and go on vacation, but he's still around, so, you know, it worked on some level. And not everybody can be Eddie Murphy, not everybody can be Richard Pryor. I mean, Dice, you got to give it to him. At his height, he was up there with the greats as a stand-up. Now, he might not have been able to translate it over into movies, but as a stand-up,
no argument there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what do you think? You wanna do the Zmed-O-Meter for this bad boy?
Hey, look at the cans on that bimbo.
All right, Brad, you're the guest. So what would you give this in 1990 out of 1 out of 5 on the Zmed-O-Meter?
Now, 5 being the most,
5 being the worst, and 1 being nobody cares. 5 being the PMRC is knocking on the door, and 1 being nobody notices.
Yeah, it's definitely not a 1. Probably maybe 3.5, close to 4, because there. I mean, even for that time, you know, there was heavy usage of the F word. You know, the F slur was used a number of times, and you know, just a lot of just derogatory stuff, and very vulgar. So, and knowing especially because it was him, that there were extra eyes on it at the time as well. Even if it was the 90s and more people can get away with stuff, it was. I don't know if it was a 5, but definitely a high 3 to just about a 4.
So that's for then. So I mean, if you're saying
Yeah.
that for then, so for now, would you
Yeah,
give it a
now
5?
it'd be. I mean, now would be even more so. Yeah. Because like I said earlier, Blazing Saddles, everyone says couldn't get made today, which I think it could get made today, especially because of what it was about. But something like this, with the usage of, like I said, the F slur was just very loose back then. It would be very hard to get anything going.
All right. So Andrew, I'm interested to see what you say for then and for now. Where would you rate this on the Zmed-O-Meter back in 1990?
I'm sorry, I don't think for that time, I don't think it even registers. I think it's barely blipping a 1, if that.
Really? Interesting.
Well, the crude humor was in back then.
Okay.
I mean, think about, Dice, and this is the era of Sam Kinison and being offensive and all the, if you think about some of the, roasts of celebrity, whatever that, what's that club or that?
A Friars Club. Friars Club.
Thank you. I mean, those were off the hook for that time. So, because I watched a couple, I try to recalibrate myself. Now, in terms of today, yeah, it's a 5. You couldn't do it.
It's interesting. I see both your points, honestly, because I'm trying to think of what it was like in 90. And I try to think of my experience. Like I said, my family, it didn't bother them that much. But I knew some families where there was no way. If their parents even found them with a cassette of Andrew Dice Clay, they were getting it thrown away. They had to hide it from them.
Yeah, I think because of who it was more so than anything, it might push it up a little more because, it is Dice. It is this guy that everyone knows, the things he says and the boundaries he does push. And if it was someone else in that role, they might have been able to get away with with it more so. But I think because of who it was specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think.
And then I'm sorry, Mike. Just wanted to say this too. That going to comedy, like one of the biggest comedians of that era at that time, was Eddie Murphy. And if you ever go back and sit through or watch Raw and Delirious, and in their entirety, he is, oh my God, like the things he says about women and so like to me, that was all okay. I'm not saying
you're not condoning it.
No, not condoning it at all. No.
Through the lens of 1980, mid 85 through 90s, the early 90s, and then what my thought is this, that like when the Dice getting I'm air quoting here with my fingers, canceled, if you will, that kind of started the shift. It was amongst the shift in trying to be more tasteful, not like a light switch overnight, but Howard Stern was crude as fuck in this time too. So that's more again why I'm not trying to. Please, I don't think Brad think I'm purposely trying to contradict him. I'm just
no. I totally
sharing
get
my
it.
perspective of what I remember. Because I was 20, 18, 19 back then.
Damn, you heard
you're
an old bastard.
You heard this stuff on Stern every morning. It was time of outrageous comedy that was offensive and crude, and so that's why I think it doesn't. I don't think it barely even gets a reading for them. But I'm sorry, Mike. I totally cut you off for your part, but I wanted to try and explain myself a little better.
No, you're good. I totally get it. Yeah.
I think I'm falling more toward Andrew. I don't think it's a 1. I was going to give it like a 2.5 in that it was the beginning of people starting to get offended by it, but it wouldn't have the effect that obviously. I mean, obviously, I'm going to give it a 5 now. I don't think you could do it now. So I think then it's a 2.5 in that you could still get away with it, but you were starting to see people starting to take notice of it and starting to say, okay, I think we need to maybe have him tamp this down, or we're gonna take him off MTV. We're gonna, as I brought up earlier, this was the beginning of this was kind of the beginning of the end of Dice's high point.
Yeah.
So I give it about a 2.5 for then, and I give it a 5 now. But I can see both your points. I'm trying to see it from that 1990 lens, and I see what Andrew's saying. I mean, they made it, and it's over the top, but it's not something you wouldn't hear on Howard Stern or other morning zoo kind of things. But I think it was also 90. It was just starting to be that time where, okay, parents and other groups were starting to say, yeah, maybe we should start looking into this a little bit more. So I get it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
But I do want to bring up, I'm not going to have it as an official category, but I do want to, I want to have Steve's Corner, which is the Steve Gross corner of Sleazebag Cinema. I like that he texted you, Andrew, and asked what the Zmed-O-Meter was, and you had to explain it to him, complete with a picture of Adrian Zmed in a tight dance outfit. And he gave you his Zmed-O-Meter rating for Easy Money.
Yep.
Yeah, he said it was a 2. So he gave it a 2 for back in 1983. And just to end off the Steve Gross corner, he also said Jennifer Jason Leigh too big for that guy. So he agreed with me again. I always knew I liked your brother, who I've never met. I need you to keep.
I see where this is going, Mike.
I need you to keep forwarding me all of these text messages he sent you.
Absolutely. You may be our biggest fan.
Well, no, because now that was a good segue, because I'm going to read some.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to read some feedback from some of our fans who gave us some feedback. I asked them when I told them one of the 17 times when we tried to record Ford Fairlane, I told them we were going to be recording this. I wanted them to give some feedback. Transplant Rockstar, who was on Bluesky, he is really good. He always is sharing the show, and I want to have him on one of these shows because I've only talked to him on Twitter and or Bluesky, so I want to actually see his face and talk to him. But he said regarding Ford Fairlane, Fonzie with Tourette's, as Dennis Miller described him at the time. And he did say, he also said the MTV band was hilarious too, how he doesn't appear in the Cradle of Love video. Also on Bluesky, we had Wes, who said, this flick is an underappreciated comedy classic. I think all three of us agree with you on that one, Wes. Oh, yeah. He goes on and says, I hold that it's a perfect precursor of the 21st century with its focus on pre-internet culture that morphed into a technopoly. That is way, way too heady for this, for me and this audience. Come on now, we're just a dumb show talking about boobies and curse words. We had Transplant Rockstar chimed in again and said, Diceman was for me funny only because of the shock value, but the second time through his stand-up, meh, and the movie felt like, I don't know, like trying too hard, but I still sometimes giggle when someone says Stanley. And he did message me today and say, wait, I want to get this right. I have it saved here because he brings up Stanley again. What did he say? Let's see here. He said, Transplant Rockstar today when I put out there that we were going to be recording said, all you ever did was talk about Stanley. So that was the early feedback that we got regarding Ford Fairlane, but we did actually get some feedback regarding the last episode after Easy Money came out. So I wanted to read some of that from Facebook. Actually, Movie Matt Sorois on Facebook said, I have memories of this film going back to before I saw it. When this hit HBO, it was something I was specifically forbidden to watch. It was labeled as pure debauchery, a word I had to look up. My school sent home a notice with all the students warning our parents of this film's existence and its filth. It says something they only did 2 other times, once for Hard Bodies, and I don't recall the other. Anyway, it of course made it a film I likely would have ignored or never even knew about into a movie I had to see. And he continued, and I said to him, This was one that was a staple of my middle school viewing, and I said, interesting that it was called out for being so filthy, and he responded, right? There were certainly worse films. I think they targeted Rodney Dangerfield specifically. It's likely why they gave so much attention to it. Movie Matt Royce continued. He said, I'd forgotten that the movie was so episodic. It's hard to fathom why Dangerfield was so controversial. I don't think it was him. I think it was the times. Reagan and the yuppies brought about a new age of conservatism that Dangerfield was basically the antithesis of. Being a Felix was in and being an Oscar was out. It's crazy when you think about how sleazy comedy would get through the 80s. Rodney is so harmless by comparison. Crazy how many connections that we found between Easy Money and Goodfellas, as well as Shane Black's scripted films, starting with The Last Boy Scout. So I'm glad he picked that up. We also had our old buddy Bill Dunn on Twitter chime in about Easy Money, and he said, there are not many slob actors anymore. They made their career being loudmouth louts. We don't have many Rodneys or Gleasons. He also, when I said I don't know who could play that role now, he did say Danny McBride, which I thought was actually a pretty good idea. And when I asked about what he would give as his Zmed-O-Meter for Easy Money, he said definitely a 4 right now. He said in order for it to be made today, it would need to be really watered down. And the other problem is we really don't have a Rodney-esque actor who could pull it off. And then he said maybe Danny McBride, but that's stretching it. Morals and mores have changed. The fat slob needs to change his ways, and that isn't funny, which is very true. And about that guy, he said, I'll concur with Andrew. There you go, Andrew. He said, I'll concur with Andrew. Jennifer Jason Leigh legit is a very much a Bruce McGill and Taylor Negron. And he also said Taylor Negron was in Nothing But Trouble and played the Brazilianaires, and he said, and Manhunter is quite the motion picture and an interesting take and very 80s. So there was a whole jumble of words, but that's Bill, and that's why I love him. But there you go, Andrew. He said he agrees with you about Jennifer Jason Leigh. He thinks that she is a that girl, not a that guy, because I don't want to be offensive. He thinks... And just from Transplant Rockstar again on Bluesky, he gave us some props and said that we capture the fun and coolness of the various movies and topics, and that the podcast is so much fun. So I owe him $10 for saying that. He also said any fans of the 80s, either by seeing this in the theater, which was Easy Money, or as a wannabe 80s person, the podcast is a must. So, okay, maybe I owe him $15 for saying that. He's going to have to get it out there to more people. So that was some of the feedback we got. If anybody wants to give us their Zmed-O-Meter reading on, I almost said The Last Boy Scout, on the Adventures of Ford Fairlane, or just give us some memories on the Adventures of Ford Fairlane, or tell us what they would like us to cover. We're on Twitter under Sleazebag Cinema. I am on Twitter under This Lightsaber Kills Fascists, and I'm also on Bluesky under This Lightsaber Kills Fascists. Andrew is not on social media because he is smart, and he does not want to go insane by reading people's opinions on social media. And Brad, I don't know if you want to give out your social media credentials, because why the hell would you want to have people bothering you on social media? But if you do, go ahead.
Yeah, on Twitter, I am at Ace of Joshi, or you can just look up Big Beard Booty Daddy. On Bluesky, I'm Big Beard Booty Daddy as well.
Whenever I see that, I want to say it like we were talking about Adam Sandler. I want to say Big Beard Booty Daddy. I can't do a good Adam Sandler.
Yeah. And just quickly to go back to the comments, every time I shared the post that we were going to be working on, whether it was the last time that we didn't get to do it, or even just the one from today, it was probably one of the more commented on posts of just people saying, "Oh, this movie is so much fun. I love this movie," and it's funny. Like this is a movie that you almost, like, if you're just talking to people on the street, maybe you'll get somebody who might remember something about it, but like everybody seemed to just take to it so quickly too. It was like I put it up, and within minutes I had people like, "Oh, I love that movie," or
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how many people listen or comment on it, because I do think I was joking around and said, the infamous Andrew Dice Clay vehicle, but it is a cult classic, like I said. I mean, I do think it's remembered, and I do think it's I do think it's fondly remembered by a lot of people. And that's, for as much as I've been saying, or we've been saying, that this was kind of, it bombed out and it destroyed his movie career. I think it's an enjoyable movie, and he carries it. Mm-hmm. He carries it as himself, but he still carries it and makes it enjoyable. Andrew, any final thoughts?
No, I think we said it. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. I thought he was good. I thought he, for his first leading role, I thought he was. I don't think his performance deserves a Razzie. I'll put it that way. I don't think he was awful.
His first and only leading role. So wait, Gilbert Gottfried lost to
Gilbert Gottfried lost.
He who shall not be named.
Yes.
Up until 8 years ago, was the biggest award he'd ever won. I wonder which one he thinks is more important. All right, before I say anything else, as always, we're not going to say what we're doing next because Andrew.
Wait a second.
Oh my God.
Hold the phone, kids.
Oh jeez. Did you find out more about the dead girl in the limo?
No.
Oh, damn.
Well, I think we gotta hit the pause button here.
Why?
On saying this is his one and all leading role. I'd like to bring up Brain Smasher, a love story.
A love story, but when did that come out?
93.
Yeah, but I mean, his only leading role in a major motion picture.
Was this direct to VHS, Mike?
I'm sure it was. I think it was direct to video disc. They didn't even put it on VHS. I think it was direct to film strip. You had to put it into a film projector and put up a sheet on your wall, and then you could watch Brain Smasher. I don't think that one counts.
Terry Hatcher and good old Brian James, may he rest in peace.
Brian James, there's that guy for
that's
you.
There's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame. That guy. Yeah, I would not say that that's a leading. It's a leading role, but not in a major motion picture. No.
Okay. Well,
all right, audience.
I don't know what you mean, but okay.
Audience, I want to know if you think Brain Smasher, a love story, is a leading role in a major motion picture. I look forward to hearing your responses.
Well, he's top billing on the cover.
I'm sure your brother will chime in.
It was a major release.
It's a major award. No, I'll look into it, and on our next episode,
you're right. My bad. My apologies, Mick Jameson. I can't call you Mick. You're Mike to me.
Uh-huh.
It was direct-to-video cassette.
Of course it was.
I didn't know that was a thing back in the 90s. I didn't know things went right to VHS.
Of course it was. All right.
And it's never been given a DVD release. Oh,
yes. Well. This is why I only limit Andrew's screen time to about an hour a day. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Brad, thank you for being on.
Brad, nice to meet you. It was fun.
You too.
And we will have you on again. We'll probably schedule it 17 different times, but we will eventually have you on again. To everybody else, we will talk to you soon. And go and watch The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. It's better than you remember it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, kids.
You didn't really think we'd kill the fucking koala bear now, did you?